Okay, I've got an Icemaker going in. Little project. Put a new Icemaker in. Not too difficult. Comes with instructions. This one's a Frigidaire. Fairly straightforward. The Frigidaire is a specific Icemaker for all of their, well, or at least most of their fridges and freezer setups. What we have here is some quick plugs behind. Here's the Icemaker assembly. Basically gets installed up here. And it's got a little bin that goes below. And here's our parts bag. Not a whole lot involved, but just enough to keep it interesting. It's got a quick plug back there and the water line back there. So this part's all going to go in the freezer, so I don't really need to remove everything from the freezer, just kind of move it around. Okay, the connection for the Icemaker line goes behind. This one's under the sink and goes behind all the way to the fridge. Comes out at the bottom below the fridge. That's my particular setup. And I'll just open this up once I'm ready for that part. Back here, we're going to want to unplug our fridge once we get to that part. But also here, we're going to want to clean this up and make a connection here. What I have is these little compression unions. This is for a 1/4 inch line. And so we're going to take this. It's got a little ferrule and then the nut that goes on there. Tighten it down. And the other side we'll leave open, and I've got these connections here and our water line to hook up. And it's a good idea to start here first, because just in case we find anything that needs to be dealt with here. This one's been all painted up, so just gonna get all that paint off there. May need to get some sandpaper or something to really make sure it's all off of here. I actually have on my Leatherman a little file. Should work out pretty good for this. Okay. Just take all that paint right off of there. Go. Okay. And we want to be able to slip our nut on there and the ferrule nut over the top there. That's perfect. Push that in as far as we can. And now is our little deal here. And we may need a second little deal to hold that down, hold one side down as we turn it. What I have is a basin wrench. There we go. And just turn this in there nice and tight. There we go. And if we need to, we can always add some Teflon tape there on that side. A lot of times you don't need to with the deal there. And here's our hose. I'm not really going to undo this hose all the way because it's going to be easier to position it. I don't need the full 10 feet hose here. The copper lined hose is best for this. And this is probably second best. It's still good. Second best is still good. This is nice for being nice and flexible and high bursting strength, so it's not going to burst on you. Anyway, we only really need to go to the bottom of the fridge, and we only need enough room to pull it out, as is behind me here, so that's why. And we can always cut this free if we need to in the future. But for now, that's about all I'm going to need. Okay. And this side just hooks up here. That's that. Be a little tighter. There we go. And now up top here, what we want to do is, this is the spot for the installation. And so we're going to cut it on the dotted line and push the flap in. There we go. And now we'll be able to insert our Icemaker in there. We'll pull out this little tube of insulation, and that's where the Icemaker goes. Okay, so now here's our Icemaker line. And it's going to go, we're going to unwrap it here. And the tube portion is going to go inside here. It's got this separation part that threads on here. Mine came prepared already. Yours may not. Anyway, you're going to push it in like so, and it's going to seal up against there. And that's going to run inside right where we need it. As far as the back hose goes, we're going to run this down around underneath, and we'll attach some clips later to make this better. Okay, and down here we're going to install our pump, and here's our factory hookup. It's got these quick plugs here. Okay, this one just presses into place, seats all the way inside. Okay, and now we're seated all the way in there. We're going to want to go ahead and unplug the machine at this point. Okay, so we're going to plug in the wiring harness, and the polarity doesn't matter here. It's the power or not the power. So there it is here. Okay. That's the factory plug there. Now we're plugged in there, and this is going to be installed over here like so. A couple screws, nice and easy. Here's the screws. Get them both started here. There we go. And now we can run our water line right there. So we'll run our water line right here. Avoid getting it cross-threaded. And it might have been easier to put the water line on before, you know, mounting that deal to the side of the fridge, but that's okay. You may find a lot of situations where it's already there. Need to change these out once in a while. Anyway. There we go. We're on nice and tight. Okay, inside the machine, you can see it's bumped out one of our plugs just fine. We're going to take off the other cover right here, and then the two covers for right here. These little side ones you can just pull out with my knife right here. Okay, and these side ones, we've got two screws. Came with the kit to go in right there. These are a little bit longer, and the deal will just hang on that. Easy enough. That's where our ice bin will go. Get those started. Okay, and now we've just got this plug cover back in the back. So now it's just lifting the new Icemaker up, plugging it in. And this deal, it pretty much has only one way it can go. The curved side is going to the right. So we plug that in there. We're good there. Now we can tilt it kind of to the side and hang the Icemaker on there. And now we'll screw the screws in there. Real simple, straightforward. Okay, that's in. Now, up is off for the little ice harvester, and down is on. There we go. So we're on now, and here's our ice bin down here. So once it fills up enough, it'll turn it off. Okay, and we just want to make sure our water line is lined up into the water deal so we can harvest some ice. Now we're ready to plug it in. Turn on the water. Okay, so now we're ready to turn the water on, just under the sink, and we're going to need to turn it back off real quick if we have any leaks back there. So turning it on right here. Okay, my pliers. Oh no, not good. Well, the little handle broke off there. Just going to have to see if I can turn this on manually. Definitely not as much fun. See if I can get this over the deal, and I really couldn't. Okay, try it this way. I may have to go get some channel locks. Darn it. I had to run and grab a pair of channel locks, but here we go. Or vice grips. I'm going to try to clip it onto the end there, make it easier to control this. Worst case scenario, I can turn the valve off right here. So it comes down to that. Not a big deal. There we go. Okay, got it clipped on. Now we're going to try to twist it open, and it is not moving at all. That's not good. So I may need to see if I can replace that. What I have is another valve I had with another valve. If it's the same size, I can rebuild that. But I don't know. This one's different. Alright, the other way would be just to shut the water off and use a coupling from one side to the other. It's not really my desired way to do this. It might be the way I need to do it for now, and then I'll order a new seal here. In theory, what I can do is turn off the cold water here and make sure it's turned off up top. Yeah, things don't always go the way you thought they were gonna go. It's just the way it is. But so I should be able to install this in the center, go that route. Just going to reuse the existing ferrule and put a rag down, catch all the water here. Before I do that, I'm going to take this side off and see if I can just work it this way. Maybe I can untwist it, put this back on, open the water line here, and then put the cover back on. Let's try that. Here's the original handle. It's not going to go on there. Let's try here. There we go. That actually let a little water from the faucet. Anyway, I'm going to turn this all the way open. Okay. And maybe not all the way open, just enough to get the cap back on there. Which is right here. Twist the cap back on, and now with the cap on, turn this the rest of the way. And now I gotta tighten that cap back down. Keep this, stop this from leaking. There we go. Okay. Now we'll untwist this one all the way to open our water line all the way. Okay. Now we've got our Icemaker line on all the way. Tighten this quarter turn past tight. Now we're going to open and turn the water on, and it's going to leak from the sink. We're going to make sure it's not leaking here anymore, as well as not leaking behind our refrigerator. So here it goes. There's this one. And behind the fridge, we're looking good. And back to here. We're looking good. And I can just order a new valve for here. Okay. And behind our fridge, we're going to check there. A couple places. We're going to look right there at our water line, and then we're going to trace it underneath. So we've got the tiniest bit of water here, so we need to tighten that just a tiny bit. And then behind the fridge itself, right here, we're okay at the valve, and underneath we're okay there. So we just got a tiny bit right in there. There we go. Yeah, dry it off there. And we're good. No more moisture here. No more leak in there. We're good. Okay, now we're ready to plug our fridge back in. Okay, we're ready to put our fridge back in place. Probably not the most ideal position for our line here. I'll move this up like so, just so it's out of the way of that plug there. There we go. Nice and gently. This way, if it drips, it's not going to drip on the electrical line. Now, it shouldn't drip anyway, but it's saying make it a little better there. And now I'm going to neatly tuck everything away here and push this back. As I move it back, I should be able to just kind of position this up right in here. There we go. Now as everything's plugged in, we're ready to turn the Icemaker on. Well, it's already turned on. So we've got it down, we just have to let it cycle. We want to not use the ice for 24 hours. 48 is probably even better, so no using the ice for 48 hours. We're good to go, everything's working like it should, and we'll just check it over the next couple of days. Okay, so here it is the next day. Got ice cubes, that's good. No leaks or water behind the fridge. Check underneath at our deal here. And we're nice and dry there, so that's good. Icemaker is doing what it's supposed to. Make it nice. So for the next 4 days or so, we'll just get rid of this ice. Probably let everything clear from the line. That way we don't have disgusting tasting ice. Good to go. One Icemaker installed. That's how to install an Icemaker. This one's on a Frigidaire. Most of them are fairly similar.